Introduction of Moral Letters to Lucilius. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Moral Letters to Lucilius by Lucius Annaeus Seneca. Translated by Richard M. Gummere. Introduction. Among the personalities of the early Roman Empire, there are few who offer to the readers of today such dramatic interest as does Lucius Annaeus Seneca, the author of the epistles which are translated in this volume. Born in a province, educated at Rome, prominent at the bar, a distinguished exile, a trusted minister of state, and a doomed victim of a capricious emperor, Seneca is so linked with the age in which he lived that in reading his works we read those of a true representative of the most thrilling period of Roman history. Seneca was born in the year 4 B.C., a time of great opportunity, at Corduba in Spain, son of the talented rhetorician Annaeus Seneca. We gather that the family moved to Rome during the boyhood of Lucius, that he was educated for the bar, and that he was soon attracted by the Stoic philosophy, the stern nurse of heroes during the first century of the empire. That his social connections were distinguished, we infer from the prominence and refinement of his brother Gallio, the Gallio of the New Testament, from the fact that he himself was noticed and almost condemned to death by the Emperor Caligula soon after he began to speak in public, and especially because his aunt, whom he visited in Egypt, was the wife of the governor of that country. Up to the year 41 he prospered. He makes mention of his children, of his mother, who, like the mother of Goethe, seems to have imbued him with idealism and a certain amount of mysticism, and of many valued friends. But during that year, as a result of court intrigue, he was banished to the island of Corsica. The charge against him was a too great intimacy with Lulia Livilla, unfortunate sister of the late emperor and the arch foe of Messalina, whose husband, Claudius, had recalled the princess from exile. We may discount any crime on Seneca's part, because even the gossip-laden Suetonius says the charge was vague and the accused was given no opportunity to defend himself. The 8 years of exile were productive of much literary work. The tragedies, which have had such influence on later drama, are the fruit of this period, besides certain essays on philosophic subjects and a rather cringing letter to Polybius, a rich freedman at the court of Claudius. In 49, however, Fortune, whom Seneca as a Stoic so often ridicules, came to his rescue. Agrippina had him recalled and appointed tutor to her young son, later to become the Emperor Nero. Holding the usual offices of state and growing in prominence, Seneca administered the affairs of the prince in partnership with Burrus, the Praetorian. Together they maintained the balance of power between the throne and senate until the death of Burrus in the year 62. After that time, a philosopher without the support of military power was unable to cope with the vices and whims of the monster on the throne. The last 2 years of Seneca's life were spent in traveling about southern Italy, composing essays on natural history and relieving his burdened soul by correspondence with his friend Lucilius. In the year 65 came his suicide, anticipating an act of violence on the emperor's part. In this deed of heroism he was nobly supported by his young wife Paulina. The best account of these dark days is given in Tacitus. These letters are all addressed to Lucilius. From internal evidence we gather that the native country of this Lucilius was Campania, and his native city Pompeii or Naples. He was a Roman knight, having gained that position, as Seneca tells us, by sheer industry. Prominent in the civil service, he had filled many important positions and was, at the time when the letters were written, procurator in Sicily. He seems to have had Epicurean tendencies, like so many men from his part of Italy. The author argues and tries to win him over to Stoicism in the kindliest manner. Lucilius wrote books, was interested in philosophy and geography, knew intimately many persons in high places, and is thought by some to be the author of the extant poem Etna. When their friendship began, we cannot say. The Naturalis Questiones and the Letters are the work of Seneca's closing years. Both are addressed to Lucilius. The essay De Providentia, which was also
Sample complete. Ready to continue?